Welcome back, everybody, to Two Dudes Talking Motorcycles. My name is Gleb, and you can follow me on social media at Gleb Lapham.
And I am Mitch. You can follow me on Instagram at Meets to the Beach.
And you can follow the podcast on Instagram at tdtmotorcycles. And you can also shoot us emails with any questions, comments, topic ideas. Please send us topic ideas at tdtmotorcycles@gmail.com. We always love hearing from you guys. We've been a little bad about checking our email the last couple of weeks, but we'll go through it and see if anybody sent us stuff.
I've been keeping an eye on it. Unless
good.
I've missed something.
I have not.
Yes.
And yeah, you probably noticed we took a little hiatus for last week's episode just because I feel like it was just a lot going on.
There's a lot going on when we agreed that we were going to take a break for the 4th.
Yeah. I don't know if we mentioned it in the last episode or not.
I don't think we did.
Yeah. Anyways, we took a little break for 4th of July just to give us a little bit of an extra week. Yeah. It's been absolutely boiling hot in Utah. Mm-hmm. I don't know where y'all live, where you're listening from, but I hope you're not suffering an insane heat wave. It's been so hot that we were just right before we started recording, I was talking about how in the entire month of July, I've only ridden my bike once. Yeah. And that was yesterday. And I hated it.
Yeah, and I've only been out like 2 or 3 times. I see people out riding in the heat, but
I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah, it's something different about this year for me. It's just like, I just don't know if I want to get out.
It's so dry. It's so hot. And it's been like consistently hot without any we had like one weekend of relief where it was like 60 degrees randomly. Yeah. It felt amazing.
Mm-hmm. When we did go ride though with Emerson, we got up to East Canyon. It did feel pretty good.
Felt amazing. Well, even I went riding yesterday just for a couple hours, and I went up in the mountains, and it was like 70 degrees up there, and it felt amazing. Yep. But then as soon as I got back down to the valley, it was like just instantly hot, like just hot air. Even when you're moving, the air is just hot, and you're just hot, and I'm like, good God, just end this heat wave because
I'm going to sing praises. I will have to say, I do have to sing praises to that Climb jacket that I got. Like that, however Climb made that Induction Pro jacket, it does make a difference. I've noticed from my old one.
My new Revit mesh overshirt one, it does pretty good, but at a certain point, the air just gets hot.
It still gets hot.
And it just doesn't cool you off as much as you'd like. And then you're sweating, and then everything else just kind of...
But hopefully everyone who does listen, if you're riding, hopefully you're riding more than we are, or you're finding ways to cope with not riding in really intense heat. Hopefully you guys don't have the kind of heat we're having.
But we... it's been a crazy... I have not ridden much this summer at all. It's been a rough one. I feel like the heat just came in so quick, too. Yep. That it just
we had no acclimation.
And I bought all that off-road gear, like a jersey and some armor that I've yet to use. The only thing I've used was the boots that I bought, and the Moscow Moto pants, which I actually really, really do love. They've been really nice. But anyways, we so since we last recorded, actually that same day after we recorded the podcast, we realized that our local Triumph dealer, Eurosport Utah, Triumph, BMW, and Ducati, and Aprilia, and Moto Guzzi now. Our local dealer, our friends over at Eurosport Utah, they were having a demo weekend for Triumph. Mm-hmm. So we decided let's just swing by, see what they have. And they had 2 new bikes that we have not ridden before. Well, new to us. One was the Speed Triple RS, and then the new Trident 800, which we talked about earlier this year when we went to the reveal of it down at the same dealership.
And we really liked the look of it and the feel of it and everything.
But what really caught my eye was that Street Triple RS. But before we get into that, we do have a little bit of motorcycle news, and that is the Norton Atlas and Atlas GS. If you remember a few episodes back, I think it was closer to the beginning of this year or maybe end of last year, we talked about Norton and how they're kind of like trying to revive the brand. They got bought out by an Indian company. That's like their parent company now. They're trying to revive the brand of motorcycles by bringing out kind of like a new line of more modernized bikes instead of like classics that they used to be And one we talked about was the Manx and the Manx R, which is their like sports, fully faired sports bike, which we both think looks absolutely beautiful.
Very clean cut, pristine looking sport bikes.
And normally like silver color doesn't do it for me much on like cars or bikes, but whatever silver Norton's using on that bike looks phenomenal.
It does look
good. It really complements the bike.
I do hope they release it with other color options though.
Me too.
Like, imagine that bike and like that yellow that we really like from Triumph and Ducati yellows.
That would be
awesome.
That
look really good.
And at the same time, around that same time, they also revealed their Norton Atlas and Atlas GT, which is their kind of more entry level ADV bike. And they finally today, or this past couple of weeks, they released the specs for it. So we're going to go over that a little bit, and then we'll give you our thoughts on the Speed Triple RS and the Trident 800, and then a couple of extra bikes that I personally got to ride. I'll save that for the end. Anyway, so the Norton Atlas comes in two variants. It comes with the Atlas and the Atlas GT, and then there's also the Apex trim for both of those. The Apex trim, I'll just get it out of the way now, includes things like the luggage rack, heated grips, tire pressure monitor,
extra lighting,
auxiliary lights, or cornering lights, and then a couple of other tidbits. And it's like a trim you can get for either one. Now, the Atlas and the Atlas GT have the same engine, the same chassis, pretty much the same configuration, except for the suspension and the front wheel size. The regular Atlas gets a 19-inch front wheel, and then the Atlas GT gets a 17-inch front wheel. The Atlas also has a longer 180 millimeter travel suspension, front and back, while the Atlas GT gets 140 millimeter suspension of travel and suspension. And the GT is kind of geared more towards to be like
a sport tour.
Sports tour, solely road focused, while the regular Atlas is more kind of lightweight or ADV light, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, the bike itself is not heavy, but it's cast wheels, it's street tires.
It's not going to have like a lot of like the features you'd find on like a proper off-road fixed machine.
But if you need to head down a smooth fire road, it'll probably handle that.
Yeah.
When I first saw this, I immediately drew comparisons to my to the Honda NX 500, which used to be the CB 500X, which was my first bike, and it was kind of very similar with a 19-inch front wheel and cast wheels and kind of this lightweight, like entry-level adventure bike that's mainly meant for road, but can handle a dirt road here and there. And I feel like, if someone's willing, they can take at least the Atlas, not the GT, off-road, off like a on like a light dirt road. I mean, I've done it with my Honda.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, if you're ambitious enough, you could take anything off-road.
Very true.
So, but just having stuff that's like meant to make your life a little bit easier and more comfortable while you're off-roading,
especially with like the longer suspension and stuff. Yeah. But I didn't see anything in the press release about it having any kind of like a skid plate or underbody protection or anything like that. So I probably would strictly stick to very smooth graded gravel roads if you absolutely need to.
Yeah.
So going into the powertrain, like I mentioned, both bikes have the same size powertrain. It's 585cc liquid cooled engine with a 270 degree crankshaft, and it is a parallel twin. It's got 69 horsepower and 42 pound-feet of torque. Twin oil pumps to reduce internal friction and maintain ideal lubrication under load, quoted directly from the press release. 6-speed gearbox with standard bidirectional quick shifter, which is really cool to see on a bike like this, on a lower price bike.
Yeah, I wouldn't say not out the box, but like off the floor, it comes installed, and you'll see with the price point. It's pretty neat to come with a quick shifter at these price points.
Yeah, I agree. And a few of the other features that normally we don't see on more like entry-level bikes, especially in this price range. It's also got a cable clutch with a slip assist, so makes it a little harder to kill your engine when you're downshifting, or just makes it a little easier. And then I have a quote here from the press release saying the Atlas engine is designed to feel alive, responsive, and characterful. It rewards rider input without demanding constant attention. And I feel like, this size of engine and with the amount of power and stuff, 69 horsepower is not it's not a little amount.
No,
it's not a whole lot, but it's I feel like
compared to what we're used to.
I mean, but for a bike that weighs 414 pounds without the fuel, I don't think that's actually a really bad power output, considering like the Tenere has 70 something horsepower.
Yeah,
and the Aprilia Touareg is 660 cc.
Yeah,
and that one's got like,
and that's the one I'm keeping,
or 70 horsepower as well. So it's not.
And that's the one I'm keeping my eye on.
Yeah. So this bike is not like, it doesn't seem like it's lacking in power. It's definitely got a little bit more to give. And unless you're hitting maybe like super fast freeway speeds,
I can see like that's where we would run into like.
Yeah,
you're going to be maxing that thing out, especially if you've got luggage on or
a passenger.
If you're just a bigger person.
Yeah. But it does have way more horsepower than my CB500X has, and it has more horsepower than the current like NX500 does.
Yeah.
So I think it will still handle touring just fine.
Oh, yep, you got it there. Yeah. So.
And then for the chassis, like I mentioned, the Atlas. It weighs in at 414 pounds and then 423 pounds with the Apex trim. And then the Atlas...
and that weight is without fuel.
Without fuel.
Which, I mean, compare that to the Tenere. I'd have to look up the Touareg weight. But if I remember, like the Tenere was like still like 450 or something like that.
It was quite up there, especially the World Raid one with the bigger fuel tank. But then and I already mentioned like the regular Atlas has a 19-inch front wheel, and then the GT has a 17-inch front wheel, and it's got a 4-gallon fuel tank. With it being like a parallel twin, 500 cc's, I'm willing to bet that 4 gallons is going to take you a pretty good distance.
Well, if I remember right, because your Honda, when I have my Scrambler, and you still had your Honda at the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, your mileage. Like my tank was
60 miles per gallon.
Yeah, so like
I had 4 gallons.
And with my tiny tank, 4.5 gallon tank, like I was still needing to fill up more.
Yeah,
because yours is what that thing was. Do you remember what gas tank that was on the Honda?
I think it was like 4 gallons.
Yeah,
if that, maybe 4.5 for that. But it would easily push like
for the size,
plus miles.
Yeah, for the size of that bike, that's probably plenty.
Yeah,
so
great. And now my gas mileage is way worse. My Tiger. I already talked about the suspension, but to add on to that, it does so 180 millimeters of travel. It's KYB fully adjustable suspension on both the Atlas and the Atlas GT. It's just the regular Atlas has 180 millimeters of travel, and then the Atlas GT has 140 millimeters of travel. But the suspension has 20-step compression and rebound settings, so you can really fine-tune it to your riding style. And then same thing with the rear shock. It is also a KYB shock, also 180 millimeters of travel on the Atlas and 140 on the Atlas GT. And it's also fully adjustable, which you don't even see on some high-end bikes for the rear shock. And it comes with a hydraulic preload adjuster, which is really nice. Brakes include dual 310 floating discs with radial front calipers, and then 270 millimeter rear disc in the back. And they also have electronic combined braking, so when you brake with the front, it applies the brake on the rear as well as a vehicle hold feature for hills and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which, right. I don't know, I could see a benefit of it in some places, but it's also a bike.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's really that necessary of a feature on most things.
I can see it being very handy for a new rider.
For a new rider, I think
like especially
so
like taking off from like a big incline. I think that'd be.
And then you realize you can also hold your rear brake and just
use
that
ease
to
out
take
of it.
off. Perks of having two brakes, I guess, or two separate brake levers. And then the tech and electronics is where I think this bike's price point really hits for what it is. 8-inch TFT touchscreen display, which is huge. I think my bike has a 7-inch, maybe an 8-inch as well, but it's not touchscreen. And it's got the Bosch 6-axis IMU with lean-sensitive ABS and traction control, multiple rider modes with adjustable intervention levels, which is really cool to see. So you can, what I understood from that is basically you can adjust like the level of traction control, wheel control, engine braking you can, which we're seeing more and more on bikes. And then 5 riding modes with urban, rain, sport, tour, and enduro modes. They didn't go into specifics of what each mode does. I'm assuming enduro is more off-road oriented, but this bike isn't really off-roady.
Yeah, maybe it just like walks back some of those like the ABS and traction control a little bit. But
the other interesting thing, does have keyless functionality, which Mitch really loves on every bike, but it's Bluetooth enabled instead of RF.
I don't, I'll just put, like I said, I'll just put it this way. Like I'm excited for this bike to have keyless everything because I want everyone to share my pain with my bike. So, but we'll see how it actually goes.
The keyless functionality supports starting the bike, fuel cap access, and seat removal, which I know
I'm out.
Like, it's fine to have that tech, but like at the same time, we're both kind of like on the same page of like, does a motorcycle actually truly need that? Probably not really. It's not that hard to put a key into the bike.
I've said it a bunch of times.
Especially with fuel cap access or seat access, like what if you lose your key fob? What if something breaks? What if the receiver or transmitter goes out? Mm-hmm. Then what? I'm hoping it has like a key backup that you can at least use
hope so.
For those
I hope
things.
It has that too, but like at that point, like why have it at all? Because I've complained about it a bunch of times before on the show, but like with my bike, keyless fob, but then if we're going on a trip, I need to make sure that I pack batteries, the special little key to open the key fob, to change said batteries.
Yeah.
And I just, so I don't know, maybe Norton will do it better. Like maybe some of Ducati's bikes or BMW's bikes that are key fob are better than mine. Maybe, I don't know, but I just think
it's kind of like an unnecessary, unnecessary complex, like an unnecessarily complex thing to add to a bike that doesn't really need it. No bike really needs it, I feel like.
I'm out on the keyless stuff for bikes.
But what it does have is a USB-C port, so you can plug stuff in,
which we love.
But what it doesn't have on that giant TFT,
touchscreen TFT,
a touchscreen TFT is Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which I've said it before. If you're going to have a screen that big, you should tack that on there. Honda did it with a bunch of their bikes. You can do it on this. And with 8 inches, you can have plenty of space to leave like a slot down at the bottom to show like your speed, your tack, your fuel, kind of like the necessary information.
Yeah.
Without having to add a Casio LCD below it like Honda does. But it's just kind of... It's one of those things like, let's use the screen space that we have for a little bit more functionality.
That's just us complaining. You know, like I think we're starting to hit like the median to higher end of ages for riding now. So maybe we're just complaining. But
soon we'll be riding GSs to Starbucks. But and then the pricing is 8,250 pounds in the UK, 9,250 euros in the EU, and then $10,500 here in the States. I don't know if that's factoring any kind of like tariffs or taxes or anything like that. Yeah. Probably not.
Conversion rates. Yeah. Who knows what the dollar's worth now?
And then $12,029 for the Apex spec if you want to.
For the US,
for the US.
So,
and the warranty, which I actually thought was really cool because it's got a 30-month or 30,000 mile warranty here in the U.S. with 24/7 roadside assistance, which I think is actually pretty cool.
I think it's cool. It's I'm guessing it's, I don't know why the warranty is this way, but if you're in the UK, the EU, or India, you're good for 36 months instead of 30, and you get 50,000 kilometers versus the 30,000 miles for the U.S. So, but. I
mean, I feel like you don't normally see that long of a warranty on motorcycles.
No,
like my Triumph
not at all.
Was literally like a year, 12 months, unlimited miles. I think that's what I've seen on most bikes. 24 is probably the most I've seen, like here and there, but majority it's like 1 year unlimited miles.
Yeah,
which I feel like after a year, you're not going to experience as many problems.
Yeah, I read that wrong. So 36 months unlimited for the mileage for the UK, EU. For India, it's 50,000 kilometers. For 36 months, US 30 months for 30,000 miles.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then 12 months, 6,000 mile, 10,000 kilometer service interval for oil changes. I did not see them mention about anything about valve clearance or anything like that.
I didn't see that.
So
6,000 miles, isn't that what yours is?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty normal. For oil changes, I don't think that's bad.
No, it's not.
It's depending on how you're riding. But anyways, that's the Norton Atlas and Atlas GT. We decided to throw it in because, I mean,
something
there hasn't been too many new bike announcements, and this is something, I mean, in the category that we're very familiar with, but also just something new from a different brand that we haven't really discussed much before. But let us know your thoughts on it. And if you do live in the UK or the EU, where I feel like these will probably become available sooner than here, if you get a chance to look at one and ride one in person, let us know. I personally thought like the design of it looks okay. It doesn't look anything like super spectacular, not like the Manx are.
Yeah.
The Manx that they announced earlier. This one looks very standard ADV bike-ish.
What's weird is I can't think of anything I can compare it to, but what I can say, just looking at the photos of it, it does just kind of like, it just doesn't really like, it just kind of blends in with like with its competition.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it looks like.
One of the things they talked about in the press release is they talked about avoiding decorative excess. So basically not adding things onto the bike that don't add any functionality. Which I think is kind of in line with their Manx and Manx R, where they didn't bother adding like the winglets or anything. It's a very clean, distinct look.
Yeah,
anyways,
so we'll see how it goes. So hopefully, maybe one day we get to try one out.
Hopefully, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Should we move on to our main topic? And before we do, feel free to use our affiliate link down in the description below if you need to buy some new riding gear for either cold or hot weather. And
for hot weather, especially right now.
Yeah, it doesn't cost us any, or it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help out the show. So, back to Triumph.
Yeah,
our favorite brand. So like I said, we got a chance to ride the Speed Triple RS and then the new Trident 800. Yeah. Which one should we start with?
Let's start with. Let's start with my experience because I started on the Trident first.
Okay, we'll talk about the Trident.
And then when we get into yours, I'll have something to add to it.
Sounds good.
For the Trident, with this being the brand new bike, bigger technically than the Street Triple.
Street Triple, yeah. It gets very confusing.
Yeah. It felt good. You hopped on the bike, 800cc motor. It felt good, very flickable. And I had it in sport mode, which again did feel really good. I would like to actually try it again, but then also try the Street Triple again to really compare them.
I agree, because I feel like those two bikes are kind of not necessarily competing against each other, but they kind of are. I would say the Trident doesn't feel as like sporty necessarily, which, if you want a bike that size, like, it's pretty good and it is comfortable. Yeah, I do agree.
I like that seat. Nice it looks
very nice to see.
Yeah, it's a very good looking like road bike for sure. So I really did enjoy it. But again, I would really want to, if I was in the market for one, I would really need to like test ride those two side by side to really get a feel for it, with the Street Triple being more
it is more expensive.
It is more expensive.
And they dropped we talked about this in our Trident episode, but they dropped the Street Triple R, just the base model, and that's basically what the Trident now kind of meets, replaced.
A little heavier now though.
The Street Triple RS, the Street Triple RS kind of fills that middleweight like naked sports sports bike niche, and we did ride that a couple of years ago, and between the two I personally would go with the Street Triple RS. One, I think it looks better, especially in that bumblebee yellow color, and I love the dragonfly-esque floating headlights that they have on the Street Triples. But I also feel like the overall fit and finish on the Street Triple was a step up from the Trident. Like the switch gear was from their higher up bikes, like the Tigers. Yeah. It had a proper TFT on it instead of this like half LCD, half smaller like real regular screen. The Street Triple had the TFT on it, so it was a crispier, nicer looking screen. And overall, I just think the character of the bike was a lot more fun on the Street Triple.
Yeah, and I agree. I think what they've done really though is like they've really defined the lines of like what each bike can kind of do, what you're going to get for your money. Because again, like for like what 10K or 11K, you can get the Trident and you're just kind of set.
You're pretty much set.
Yeah, like if you're not looking for all the bells and whistles and like all this like higher end, with
it had like 3 riding modes. It was like rain, sport, and road. Basically, it did have a quick shifter.
It did.
It did have a quick shifter, and it was still like a pretty peppy engine and pretty peppy bike.
Plus like those gold rims for the wheels.
Yeah.
It looks really good. And personally, I mean, I really like just that single round headlight on there. Like,
see, I love the uniqueness of the.
Well, and I still love that. So for me, it just kind of depend like, do I want to spend 13 or 10 or 12K versus like this 10 to 11?
Yeah.
And then really like what I'm going to use it for, So
I mean, I get it. Yeah. And I feel like it's kind of in a weird spot and try to like line up but at the same time you can also spend $1,000 or $2,000 more and get the Street Triple RS, which I think maybe arguably, but I personally thought was a better bike, not only including the fit and finish, but I also think like the performance on it feels livelier and it feels like it handles a little bit better than the Trident. Maybe it's the way the chassis or the frame is designed or the suspension that it had.
I'd really have to ride them side by side again.
And I feel like it had like some higher end components like Brembo brakes and higher end suspension. So it kind of feels a little bit more. It's giving you a little bit more than the Trident. But then again, we both rode those bikes for a pretty short time. So it's hard to make a comparison between the two, especially with the Street Triple being a few years ago versus the Trident being kind of fresh in their head. But I didn't hate it. I really liked it.
I think that's my point. Is I wouldn't write the Trident off. I would just need like if I'm going to be in the market for one, I would need to. Those would be the two. I would have to ride them side by side to like really figure out what I wanted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Outside of the aesthetics and like the engine size. And all that. So.
And I did think that this bike would be like a really awesome bike to have like around just to ride around town. It was very manageable. It was pretty lightweight. And like you said, pretty flickable, and I think we even had
it brakes pretty good too. Even with those like, I'm guessing
I think they were Nissan.
Nissan just have the Triumph logo on them.
Yeah,
but it still braked really well.
It still braked really well, and like splitting or not filtering through traffic and stuff in that was pretty easy. And I feel like it's enough power to like get around town plenty, but also it's not like crazy amounts of power where you feel overwhelmed like riding it through town, but also like plenty of power to go hit up some twisties and things like that and still feel like you have a lively machine.
Yeah, I think it would be like a really good like one and done. You buy it and you're like, I'm kind of just like, I've grown into this bike and I don't need to upgrade necessarily. Like if you're not looking for like top dollar, I don't even want to say that. It was, I liked it, but like, if I had to pick, I need to ride both.
I would definitely spend the extra money on the 800 versus the Trident 600.
Oh yeah.
The 600 just felt like a little cramped, a little small. It was performed fine, but it just did not have the same like and I think it's worth spending the extra money. Plus, especially with a bike that you can like grow into versus outpacing like the 600cc engine initially.
And I think for that, it would just kind of depend like where you live too, and like also your body size. Like for us, the Trident 660 was way too small.
It was way too small. I felt so cramped on that bike.
But if you're like smaller stature, or you live in a city or something, you don't need a lot of power necessarily. The Trident 660 is a great bike for beginners and where you live. But if you want to stretch out, get out,
the 800 definitely.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit better for you. So, and again, $10K for like a really well packaged bike.
A really good package of the bike, and it has like the traction control, the ABS. Like rider modes, quick shifter, and kind of
and if you
kind
upgrade,
of an all around decent package.
I think like the little bit more expensive one, you get like the Apro exhaust and like there's a few other things.
You got the gold rims on that one too. I think that's standard.
I think it's standard.
Okay,
maybe I don't.
You got that nice red paint too, which I thought does look pretty good.
The red and gold looked really nice.
The red and gold looked phenomenal, but it doesn't hold a candle to the Speed Triple.
It's so unfair to compare these two bikes.
It's funny because I rode the Speed Triple first, so I was already like pre-spoiled.
Well, I think I was going to say
I hopped on the Trident and I was just like, man, this does not feel nearly as good.
Well, that's the thing is I think for you, I think that Speed Triple kind of like ruined the Trident for you because you rode that one first, had so much fun with it, and then you hop on this one that again is like half the price, like almost half the price.
Oh yeah.
A lot less power. Like it's so unfair to compare these two bikes.
It's really unfair. But the Speed Triple RS it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I think that was a good segment to get into
just getting on the highway on that thing and just opening it up, first gear, like hitting 60 miles an hour with that blink of an eye, and then like quick shifter up and down as well.
The bike
like
doesn't even blink.
Like, like it was insane. And the exhaust note from it sounds like a race car, just basically this high pitched kind of whine from that triple. And it just opens up and it just goes.
Yeah.
And it just goes and goes and goes. And I'm like, I'm in third gear and I'm already hitting like way beyond the speed limit, like way faster than I should be going. No, we don't speed.
Yeah.
But like, no, getting on it immediately, you feel like that classic Triumph, like fit and finish where, it's got the same like switch gear as my Tiger. And as your bike as well, it's kind of very similar controls. It's got the newer TFT though, the newer graphics on it. And I started off in road mode, just on that frontage road behind the dealership, but then I swapped it over to sport mode. And good Lord, you just feel that bike open up. You gotta like hang on to it on the freeway, like getting on the throttle, because it just winds up and
it has
keeps
such
going.
A beautiful note to it.
It has a beautiful note. It has a lot of like torque is like up high, so you really just like rev it up, open it up, and I'm like, this thing is beautiful. Just cruising. Yeah, this thing is cruising.
I did forget to mention with the Trident again, like because the one we rode, I think had the stock exhaust on it. Still sounded nice. Still had that really nice like triple sound. That's to true. It.
Yeah, but I didn't mind the sound of it.
Yeah, no, that street triple is phenomenal though.
Yeah. But what I really also liked, and the closest thing I can like compare it to is the Ducati Panigale V4. So I know they're different classes of bikes, but the reason I'm comparing the two is because when we rode the V2 Panigale, and then we rode the V4 as well.
Well, we rode the V4 a year before the V4S.
Yeah, but we rode both of them, is what I meant. Like, both V2 Panigale and the V4 Panigale.
Yeah.
And I remember both of us thinking, like, on the V4 Panigale, when you were going slow speeds on the street, it just feels so clunky. Like, the bike does not like going slow.
No.
The bike does not like low revs. The bike wants to go fast. It wants to be fast. While the V2 felt very controlled and maintained, even at lower speeds and lower RPMs, and which makes sense because the engine is like half the power. The V4 Ducati, the Panigale V4 has 210 horsepower. That's
it's a performance.
insane.
It's a performance machine.
It's a performance machine.
It's not meant
to really use it. You got to take it to the track. The V2 feels like you can use it on the street without it feeling clunky. And I was kind of going in expecting to feel something similar with the Speed Triple RS. And we've never tried the Street Fighter, so I don't know how they feel, if they feel a little bit more composed or not compared to the V4 Panigale, but I know they have the same engine. But the Speed Triple RS, I was expecting to also feel like at slower speeds, like it's wanting to go more. It's feeling a little lurchy and stuff, but it wasn't that.
Yeah.
At slower speeds, it still felt smooth. It still felt very composed. Even like going from traffic light to traffic light or weaving through or filtering through traffic, like it did not feel like it was like being a little clunky. It felt good. And I immediately thought like, okay, this is a bike that can go insanely fast and you can take it to the track, but also feels pretty easy to ride around town, which you probably won't want to do for long because it's so much fun to go fast on that thing. But it was nice. It was a nice feeling to have a bike that fast that also is okay being at a slower speed with lower RPMs.
The way I described it was like it going around the city in traffic, slow speed stuff. Like it's such a well-behaved bike.
Yeah.
Like super responsive to your inputs. Like it's not jerky. It's not uncomfortable. Like the V4S, like the Ducati, that thing is just pure speed. Pure speed. Yeah. Wants to go. It gets really hot standing still or really slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the Speed Triple, it's just very well behaved until you tell it to not behave. Like you open that thing up and it goes.
And then it listens to you and it will like feel like it wants to buck you off the seat.
Yeah.
And you got to hold on. Because I feel like the power delivery on it was so good too. It was very predictable. It's not like you lay on the throttle and all of a sudden it's like you jerk back and like you're holding on, but it's like a very gradual increase. But once you hit those higher RPMs, that's when you really feel it like kind of like open up and throw itself forward. And you're like, okay, now I've got to hold on a little bit here.
Yeah.
And it was just... it was so great to ride. And it's crazy because, like, you know, and we've experienced it on our personal bikes too, where, you know, you're already kind of cruising at like a highway speed and you can like still open up the throttle and stuff, plenty to give to like pass someone or just kind of get a little bit of a thrill of a higher speed. On this bike, that was like, that feeling was like times 10.
Yeah.
Like I'm already going like a highway speed, but I'm like, this thing's barely even touching its ceiling. Like and then I'm in like third gear or something. And I just like lay on the throttle and it's just kind of just has so much more to give. And I'm like, it just feels amazing.
Yeah.
It just feels amazing to be able to like be going quick or fast and then being able to like immedially go faster.
Well, and it
like
feels
a flick of a wrist.
Yeah. And it feels very planted too on the road the whole time too. Like it just feels very good. And maybe it's because I'm used to like, on my Scrambler, big, giant, thin front wheel.
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
You get going fast, you get a little bit of a wobble.
That's true. And I feel like because our bikes are so high up, you get a lot of that top, the weight up top.
Yeah.
But this is a much shorter bike. It's closer to the ground.
It just feels so planted. Like even when you're like inputting a bunch of power into it and
going around like a bend or a corner and stuff, it felt
really good.
Right.
Yeah.
It felt really, really good.
Again, it goes back to like, depending what I want to use it for. And we've talked about it, right? Getting a big bike versus a smaller capacity bike. It's like the street triple, you can rev through the gears, run that thing, and you're going to have a ton of fun on it.
Yeah.
You know, like I loved riding that bike.
Oh, me too. I would buy one in a heartbeat.
Yeah. You know, with the speed triple, like I said, it'll behave and perform very well. And you're going to have just oodles of power for days to come. But yeah, if you want to like really open that thing up and shift through the gears, that's a track event.
That's a track event. 100%.
You know, like,
it's that problem that you get with larger displacement bikes, with high powered bikes, is that you'll never truly be able to open them up on like public roads without either getting a ticket or putting yourself
or others danger,
like in a lot more risk and an uncontrolled like environment. If it came down to it, if money was no issue, would you get the Street Triple RS or would you get the Street Triple RS or would you get the Speed Triple? It's so hard to decide, huh?
Yeah, I mean, my first response is the answer like I'd get the Street Triple.
Yeah.
I know you said money's no object, but like again, it is less money.
Yeah, I mean,
and
if I was doing it like realistically, of course, the Street Triple.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get like 80% of the fun for half the price, for 50% of the price.
Yeah.
But if money no object, the Street Triple RS is a very tempting choice. But there's also the Street Triple RR, which they no longer make, but you can find used, and it looks beautiful.
No, I love the Street Triple RR.
Absolutely gorgeous. I would get that in a heartbeat, even though I wouldn't be able to fully open it up on public road.
No, there's that, because that thing is like, it's more like compact too than the Street or the Speed.
It's pretty much the same dimensions, but it just has the single headlight with the cowl around it surrounding.
I remember sitting on one though, and it just felt like narrower and tighter, and I liked it. I would love one.
I love the look of it. I just get it purely for the looks. I don't care what kind of it can be. It can have the 765 engine in it. I would buy that in a heartbeat.
I don't know why they don't make a Street Triple.
That would be amazing if they did. But it also never really sold that well. And
no, it didn't. But
I don't know why.
That bike came out like what, 22, 23,
something like that.
People were still like economically recovering from the pandemic, and it's a $25,000 bike.
But I remember there's been some really good deals on it towards the end of its life. I remember seeing it like $4,000 or $5,000 off, like below the $20,000 mark, and I'm like, damn, if I could afford this right now, I'd buy it just to have one.
Right.
Because especially in that like bright red color that they had, it looked beautiful, guys. It looked like absolutely beautiful. But between the Street Triple RS or the Speed Triple RS, I would agree with you. I'd probably go with the Street Triple.
Me personally, because again, I'm also not like a big speed demon either. You know,
and neither am I.
And I don't have like the means to go to the track a bunch. Like if I had the means to go to the track and like really push myself, get some classes and stuff, then the Speed Triple would make a lot more sense.
100%.
But for riding around, like kind of riding we do, like that'd be a great little like weekend bike.
Yeah. But also like we demoed the Street Triple, the newer one, but I also borrowed one from our friend Dave for the DGR that one time, and I had such a blast riding on that
bike.
It's such a fun bike, and you really just like lean into the corners with it. It listens to you. I had such a blast on it, and I'm like, this would be a fun city bike.
Yeah.
But also the Bonneville exists, and I get that because I just want a classic looking bike. But no, it was really fun to be able to try out both of those models. But like you said, I think I definitely spoiled myself quite a bit riding the Speed Triple first versus the Trident. Because getting back on the Trident, I was just like, it just doesn't feel the same. It just feels like it's when you get like a nice rental car. Like, I guess both of us have like newer cars now, but like back in the day when I had like my dad's hand me down like old Camry, and I'd go like travel for work somewhere, and I have a rental car, and I get back in my own Camry that's like 20 years old. I'm just like, man, this is so old, and it's like, it worked fine, but it was just like, it was one of those things where it's like, you can tell it's it's not quite as nice.
Yeah. Again, the Speed Triple was just such a monster of a bike, but again, so well behaved. I loved it, but you're going to be paying a pretty penny for it. Like if you're in the market,
100%.
Yeah. If you're in a market and you're leaning toward a Triumph, I mean, you want a bigger, powerful bike. That Trident 800 for like what, 10, 11K. Not a bad package whatsoever. Like that'd be definitely one to check out for your money.
I think so too.
You know, and like, but yeah, if you want to go up a little bit more, maybe get a little bit more like spiciness out of your bike than the Street Triple, even though it's a smaller capacity, but it
feels way more lively.
I think I need to like go ride them both again to actually confirm that, but I do. I think there's something. Yeah,
there's something special about it.
There's something that I don't know if it wasn't like hitting the itch with the Trident, but yeah. So
that's how
before I
put
too. Any stamp on like one over the other, I would need to ride them again back to back. But
but also speaking of, I mentioned earlier that I have a little bonus tidbit at the end. So after we did that ride, we met up with our friend Emerson. We did a quick just road ride up in the mountains, and then. Went over to his place to do a little garage day, mainly because you need to change your oil.
Yeah, change my oil, and then we did the chain.
The chain, that's right, the sprocket and the chain and stuff. I didn't really need to do much maintenance on my bike, so I was just kind of...
Really quick, on the note of maintenance, like, for Triumph, you guys got to not sell your oil in those stupid wine cooler boxes.
That was terrible.
Go back to just selling them in the individual quarts. This Triumph branded cardboard box with a bag of oil was a nightmare. It made such a mess.
I remember that. But while we were there, I didn't really have anything to work on my bike, so I was just kind of hanging out.
Right,
there to hang out with you guys. But I asked Emerson if I could take his... he has I can't remember what year it is. 2018 maybe.
Something.
Anyways, he has the Thruxton 1200, which is now no longer around, with the nice cowl on it, the beautiful dual dials, the
classic
silver
Bonneville.
And so I asked him if I could take it out for a spin, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." That is such a beautiful bike.
Yeah,
that is such a beautiful bike. I understand why he doesn't ride as much because the seating position on it is very uncomfortable. It's very tucked in, very aggressive, which. For me, I cannot do for a long time. I get tired pretty quick. It's like sitting that way, and I could start feeling it in my back. But man, is that thing lively.
And it's fun.
It's so much fun. It opens up. I mean, I didn't go far on it. Just kind of went up and down the road. But like opening it up and cruising down, getting up to speed. And he has aftermarket exhaust on it and stuff. And his bike is loud.
Yeah.
Like it is so fun. It has like that growly... like exhaust note, kind of like yours does too.
That
like
parallel twin, man, they're awesome. And that's the same motor as my bike. So
and it's got this growl, and when you're slowing down, it's got these pops and stuff that come out. Oh, it was so fun to kind of like try out, and it just feels like, and especially with his bike being like a little bit older, like it doesn't have as many like electronics and things like that on it, and it just felt like very almost raw, kind of like it did have a couple of riding modes. I think it was like literally like sport or road or like sport and rain, and that's it. But I just felt like there was some kind of rawness to it where it doesn't have like as many. It didn't have a TFT. It had just like a tiny little LCD screen, but I had both like a speedometer and a tachometer, and it made me appreciate how beautiful that looks even more compared to just
it makes you want
like
a Bonneville.
The Speed Twin that they have now. It did make me want a Bonneville even more, because like looking at the Speed Twin now with a just weird single off-center dial, I'm like, this just looks so much better. The color, the paint on it looks good. like everything about it just looks like classic motorcycle, like classic cafe racer type bike. And I absolutely loved it. After that, I also tried out Emerson's KTM, his 890 Adventure. And primarily because I was just curious to compare it to like my Tiger 900 real quick, but also because I'm interested in potentially swapping my Tiger for a Husqvarna Norton 901, which is basically the KTM 890.
It's the same bike,
same engine, same suspension, just looks a little different.
Yeah,
and I think it's a little heavier, and it's got like a little bit wider seat versus the KTM's. But everything else about them is basically the same. And I understand why people like their KTMs a lot. The biggest thing I noticed is because it has that low slung gas tank, the saddle style gas tank, like all that weight's kept down low. It felt immediately easier to manage and maneuver than my Tiger did, especially like even going around like low speed turns and corners and stuff. I kind of popped into like a church parking lot and just did some low speed turns. Yeah. You can feel that.
Just feels better.
Yeah. You feel that weight being so down low that I'm like, this feels so much more manageable than the Tiger at lower speeds. And I think just over like the narrower gas tank on it, because it's mostly below you than up at the top, it felt like a little bit nicer standing up on it. The seating position and everything was really good. The TFT, I think it was fine. Like, I don't know. I think most TFTs like could show more information, but it's just weird that his only shows like half the fuel gauge, and then for the distance, it just shows like above 120 miles or something like that instead of like the full thing.
After a certain point, it's just like, KTM you'll know when you need fuel because you'll be stopped.
And then also, what I do like that my Tiger has like a dedicated heated seats button, dedicated mode button, and things like that. Versus his, you can set up shortcuts on the KTM, but it's not. There's buried, not as many dedicated buttons, and then the rest of it's buried in the menu. Yeah, just small little tidbits, but performance-wise, it did feel really peppy. It had the quick shifter on it, which was really nice to use, and then having that low slung gas tank did make a very noticeable difference almost immediately, just because that weight is carried so much lower. It feels like you're able to flick this bike so much easier than my Tiger. That made me want the Norton even more. But anyways, that's all I got on those two little bikes. Thanks to Emerson for letting me take those out for a little spin. But the Thruxton, I feel like, is an icon.
Oh, yeah.
And Triumph should bring it back and keep it in that same character, the same twin dials.
What do you mean? They brought they made the Thruxton 400?
Don't know. It is a beautiful machine.
Yeah. No,
it's a beautiful machine. It's very uncomfortable. Therefore, I would get the Bonneville T120 instead. But it was still very grateful to be able to have been able to take it out for a quick spin.
No, there's something about those modern classics with Triumph. Like I said, I love my bike. It is a Bonneville technically, but it does have like the TFT, like that one singular.
But at least yours kind of like fits the bike, and it's in the middle, which is nice.
It fits it a bit, but at the same time, sometimes I wish like I did have that cool dial on there, and like, but even though I have a Bonneville bike, technically, or a bike with a Bonneville engine, I still want like a Bonneville T120.
I really want a T120. So. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it for the episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Sorry about the little break. We'll try to get back on the consistent schedule. My next 2 weeks are absolutely
gonna be
brutal
rough.
Because I have a family trip for a few days, and then I come back from that. I immediately go on a work trip. So we'll try our best to get an episode out.
We'll get
in
something
the next
going.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So hopefully
there might be one or two solo episodes, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
See ya.